Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to review and recap a series that I've been watching. Is trending and is an ongoing series titled The Last of Us. It's a real life adaptation of a video game, and I'm not a video game enthusiast, but I like such movies. So if you are interested in movies such as The Walking Dead, then this is a perfect movie for you. You don't have to be a game player or somebody who has played a game before. So today we are recapping episode 1. The episode began with the interviewing of two scientists in the 1980s, and one was like, we humans should be scared of virus, because when a pandemic breaks out, everything is going to be at a standstill, and virus transmits more easily, so we need to be careful. And the other one was like, virus is virus, it's bound to spread, but what about fungi? And the other one disagreed and said fungi cannot exist in human beings, it cannot affect human beings because of the human body temperature. And the other one said, what if fungi mutates and it's able to withstand the temperature of the human body? What is going to happen then? Since there have been no research into fungi, since we are not prepared for a fungi outbreak, what will happen? Fast forward 2003, we see a girl lying in her bed. She wakes up, goes and wakes her dad up, and prepares breakfast, and they start having breakfast. The girl is named Sarah and the dad is named Joel. While having breakfast, her dad's friend or business partner named Tommy comes around. They finish their breakfast and they get ready to go to their workplace and Sarah to school. Before going to school, Sarah enters into her dad's room, take an old watch and some money from his locker before getting into the car to be driven to school. While getting ready to go to school, they see that their neighbors are sitting outside. So Tommy promised their neighbor that Sarah will come over after school to come and keep them company, as she usually does. We move to the next scene where we see Sarah in school. She goes to school, everything is normal. After school, she goes to repair the watch in town. While she was repairing the watch, she sees police cars driving by, meaning that something is going on, like there is a situation happening in the town, but she doesn't really know what is happening in the town. While over there repairing the watch, the watch repairer's wife comes and said they are closed for the day while it's not 7 o'clock. And she should get home very fast. This kind of puts a suspense because it lets you know that something is happening. She can see that something is happening in the town, but she doesn't really know what is happening in the town. She gets the watch. The man says he's done repairing the watch. He gives the watch to Sarah. Sarah takes the watch and goes back home. When she went home as promised, she visits her neighbor. She spent some time with them. But while she was with her neighbor, the old lady started exhibiting some weird kind of behaviors. Yes, but she wasn't paying attention to her, so she didn't see that the old woman was behaving strangely. She left, she went home, had her dinner, waited for her dad. When her dad came, he forgot the birthday, he forgot the cake he was supposed to bring to celebrate his own birthday. Sarah gave him the watch as a gift and everything is cool. Then they decide to watch a movie. While watching the movie, Joel gets a call. When Joel gets a call, it's from Tommy and he's in prison. He was at a bar, there was an outbreak of fight and he was arrested. So Joel puts Sarah in her bed and decides to go and bail out Tommy. While he is gone, Sarah is woken up by planes flying all over their area with the lights shining on her. She wakes up, goes to her dad's room. Her dad is not there. She comes to the hall. She looks at the TV and there's an announcement that everybody should stay indoor. While she was trying to comprehend what was really happening, her neighbor's dog comes and knocks on her door. She goes to send the dog back home because they are like, everybody should remain indoors. While trying to return the dog didn't really want to go back to the house, so it fled from the scene. She went to the neighbor's house and she saw that the neighbor's son had been stabbed and he was bleeding. And Connie, who was the old lady's daughter, was also on the floor, and she saw the old lady on Connie trying to bite her. That's when she realized that there is something wrong with the old lady. So she started fleeing, and the old lady, having been infected, started chasing her. That was when Joel and Tommy arrived and they saved Sarah. And Joel killed and Joel fought the old lady, the infected old lady. She took Sarah, explained to her what was really happening in town, that there was an outbreak of a fungi in the main city. And since the old lady and her family has been visiting the city, she kind of was affected. So now they had to flee. So while fleeing, they got into an accident. Joel and Sarah fall to another side of the road. Tommy fall to the other side. Tommy suggested Joel and Sarah to flee and he will meet them outside town. So while trying to flee, um, Joel and Sarah are being chased by an infected person and they meet a soldier who shoots the infected person. And this is where the suspense is. We all thought that he was going to like save Sarah and Joel or provide some shield for them, but he made a call, and from whatever happened, I think he was supposed to kill them also because he didn't know if they were infected or not. So he had to shoot them, and he shot at them, but rather Sarah got shot. That was when Tommy arrived and shot the soldier. So this was the saddest part of episode 1, where Joel was trying all his best to save Sarah, his daughter, and he asked Tommy help. It was like the saddest part, but Sarah didn't make it and Sarah died. Fast forward 20 years later, you see that the world is in it's like after an apocalypse, the world is in disarray. We are in a military they are in a military rule world where there are no laws. The military is what stands, what the military says goes. And we see Joel and a lady working at the furnace where they burn people who are infected and are people who have been killed for being infected. They burn them, and still there is no cure. People are doing everything possible to survive. Some are selling drugs, some are selling like fake things. Everybody is doing what they think they can do to survive. We move to the next scene of where the woman that was working with Joel is being taken hostage by another person, and it turns out that they were buying a battery from the man, and the man sold the battery to another person, and he was scared of what Joel would do to him, so he kidnapped the lady that was working with Joel. And it turns out that lady, I don't know if it's his wife because they didn't show that they got married, but she is named Tess. It seems Tommy has fled to the outside world, and Tess and Joel are trying to get a battery for a car to go and save Tommy, to bring him back. Fleeing from the camp is very serious because when you are caught, you will be hanged in public. The next scene comes where a young girl named Ellie was being held hostage by a movement named the Fireflies. The Fireflies are normal individuals who are trying to get their rights back from military rule. They are trying to flee the military operations. They want everything to go back to how it used to be, with everybody living their normal life without the military on their neck. So you don't understand what is Ellie doing, like who is Ellie per se, but you understand that Ellie is important because the Fireflies are also in need of a battery to transport Ellie out of the camp. This is where Tess is released from the person who is holding her hostage. She goes home, she reports the situation about the battery being sold to another person, to Joel. She and Joel try to find the man to get the battery from him before he transports it to, or he hands it over to the next person. This is when they enter into the Fireflies camp and they realize that the battery was being sold to the Fireflies, but the battery was of no good use. So the Fireflies had killed the man. And also there was the leader of the Fireflies, Marlene, had been shot. So Marlene realized that she couldn't take Ellie out on her own, so she asked Tess and Joel to help transport Marlene to their main headquarters out of the military camp, and whatever they need in saving Tommy will be given to them. That is trucks, bombs, whatever they need will be given to them. And they accepted the deal, and this is where we see that they start their journey of transporting Ellie. Almost getting close to the exit of the camp, they meet a soldier. At that moment, he pictured the same situation of the soldier shooting there at him and Sarah 20 years ago. So he just attacked the soldier. He just attacked the soldier and finish him off. While in the struggle of trying to finish him off and Tess trying to protect Ellie, they find out that Ellie has been bitten. So if Ellie has been bitten, then why hasn't she transformed? So this kind of like, in as much as I feel like that part was right, because it makes us understand that Ellie can be the cure. Very easily, everybody can draw the conclusion that Ellie is the cure. But I feel like it also puts suspense onto what will happen next. Would they still want to transport Ellie, or would they return her back to the Fireflies, or what are they going to do? This was what happened in episode 1, and for my review I would say it was very interesting. I like how they began the whole episode with scientists having an interview, because it allows us to understand where like the disease is from, what caused the disease. Unlike in some apocalypse movie where you don't know what happened, all that you know is that people are just infected, you don't know the background of the story. This really shows the background of the story. It also showed like they had a normal life. Like in 2003, Sarah was going to school, she was doing all that she had to do. Joel, like, they were a peaceful family, everybody was living their life, and in a twinkle of an eye everything changes. It kind of reminds me of how like COVID was. Like, we when it started in China, we are just kind of hearing of it till it got to us, then we all realized like how real it was, and we all started protecting ourselves. Yes, so I would say it's very, very interesting movie. If you haven't watched it, I would say watch it, and you will love it. You will really, really love it, especially if you love movies like The Walking Dead. You will really, really enjoy this one, and you don't have to be a game lover to love it, or somebody who has played a game before. You will just love it. That'll be all for today. My name is Emanuela. Adios.